the class Discovering Pre-Algebra, and it's for part 2 where we start talking about proportional concepts, ratios, and rates. All kinds of little things go on in this class. So in this first worksheet, we're talking about ratios. If you're in this class, you want to pause and start grading yourself. If you're not, and you want to be, check the description below. There will be a link to my profile, and you can see all the different classes I teach and choose the one that's best for you. Now, one thing to keep in mind when grading this worksheet is that there are multiple answers. That is because, remember I said I'm not going to be picky about simplifying or not, because there's a time to simplify and a time not to simplify. So I'm not going to be a stickler about that until we get some of our number sense down. I did mention things like rounding for money, rounding to the nearest percent. That sort of stuff I will be picky about, and that's okay. That's okay. We'll learn as we go along. That is part of this class, is to start applying this to real life. See, when do we round? When do we simplify? When do we not? We're kind of learning that as we go along. So right now I'm not going to be picky. So you'll see there's simplified versions, non-simplified versions. On top of that, ratios can be written one of 3 ways. So that's all expressed too. So as long as you have one of these options on your paper, you're doing good. All right, so let's get started in looking at this. Okay. All right. Okay, so this first one, it says in a class of 20 students, and I'm going to change my pen so that you know this isn't part of the key. In a class of 20 students, 12 are girls. Okay, so we have girls, and if we want, we could figure out the boys. There was 8 boys then in this class. All right, so it wants a ratio of number of girls to total students. So we're comparing girls to total students. I should put total. All right, it has to come with girls first because that's what the question asks. So our girl part, the part that's girls, is 12 to 20. All right, so this, it can be written with the colon, it can be written with the 2, and it can be written as a fraction. Now, if I want to simplify this, I'm going to look at it in the fraction form when I simplify. Let's give myself a little bit more room. I have to say what number goes into both. I'm just going to give you guys a little simplifying lesson if you wanted to simplify this one. The next one has to be simplified. All right, so 12 is made up of 3 times 4, which is 4 can be broken down in 2 times 2. You should already have your factors pretty much worked out. And 5 is 4 times 5, which can be broken down into 2 times 2. So they share these. So my result is just a 3 and a 5. So my simplified version would be 3 to 5, and I can write it again in any of these 3 ways. In this next one, there are 14 red marbles and there are 20 blue marbles. Okay, so if I was going to count all of those up, I would just say, okay, I got 14 red marbles, 20 blue marbles, add that together. I have 34 total marbles. Okay, and in this first one, it says, what's the ratio of red to blue marbles? Well, that is 14 to 20, but first I have to reduce this. Okay, so let's see, I have 2 times 7 on the top, and 4, which is 2 times 2 times 5 on the bottom. Well, the only thing they share are these 2's. So on the top, I just have a 7, and on the bottom, I have a 2 times 5, which is 10. So this is my base. I can either write it as a fraction, I can write it with that colon, or I can write it 2. Right? Any of those ways are fine. All right, now they're asking us to put it to the total. All right, so our blue marbles are 20, and our total is 34. Okay, so I got to reduce this just like I did before. Remember, 20 is, we already figured that out, it's 2 times 2 times 5, and 34, let's think here, 17 times 2, ooh, that's ugly, 17's prime, so we only share 2's, 2 times 5 is 10, and I only have a 17 on the bottom. So this is my base ratio, and I can write it in any of the ways. Okay. All right, I'm not going to write this one in all of these different ways. I'm just going to write the base ratio as a fraction. Okay, you should be able to compute that to a colon and to the 2-way, and then I'm going to reduce it. But this one asks me for the ratio of cats to total pets. So it has to be cats first, then total. Well, in a kennel, there are 12 cats and 20 dogs. So first, to find the total, I got to add up the pets. There are 32 total. Now I want the cats, only the cats. So I have 12 cats and a total of 32. Well, 12 is 3 times 4. 4 can be broken down in 2 times 2. 32 is 8 times 4. Let's start with 4. 4 can be broken down in 2 times 2. And 8 is broken down into 3 2s. Wow. Okay, let's cross out these 2's. I only have a 3 left on top. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So my base ratio can either be 12 to 32 or 3 to 8. Now we want to know dogs to total pets. Well, our dog total is 20 and our total we figured out was 32. So the first option I could have is any applicable ratio, style of writing ratio for 20 over 32, and then you reduce it down. So we've done 20 a million times. That's 2 times 2 times 5. If you don't understand this way that I'm doing it, just contact me. I'll send you some videos on reducing fractions. We are going to work on that a little bit, but it's going to be kind of like a quick review it type of skill. You should already know it. All right, 32 we just did up here. It's 5 2's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be 5 over 8. That is my reduced version. I could write it with the colon or the 2. All right, cats to dogs. So my cats are 12 and my dogs are 20. So that's going to be 12 is 3 times 4, 3 times 2 times 2, and 20 is 2 times 2 times 5. Cross out my 2's. I have 3 over 5. So I can either write it in any ratio form of 12 over 20 or in ratio form of 3 over 5. Now in this one I have to write it dogs to cats, but look, this is the reverse of this one. So this is the complement. We're doing the complement ratio, okay? So all I have to do is flip my ratio. Remember, that's just the flip version. So 20 over 12 or 5 over 3, and you could write it any of the number of ways listed. All right. So that's all for worksheet 1-1. If you have any questions, just let me know and I'll help you out. I'll give you more worksheets if you need more practice. Send you some videos if you need more help. Other than that, just keep practicing and I'll see you guys in class.